Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jay and I make epoxy-free tumblers. But not to worry, if you're an epoxy user, you are still welcomed here. Many of the steps in this tutorial may not apply to you, but you can always tweak some steps to fit your project. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful Tropical Leaves Peekaboo coffee mug using all CrystaLac products. For more information about CrystaLac and the other products I used, you can visit the links in the description box below. I'm starting off with a prep and sanded 14-ounce round mug from maker Flo Crafts. I base coated this little guy with universal white at first, and then I did a few coats of CrystaLac's Flippin' Awesome paint in Coral Crush. I then went in with a chunky Opal glitter from Recollections. I actually started this tumbler like a year ago. It is completely smooth. It has lots of layers of Brite tone. I can't even count, probably a million. But I had absolutely no direction when I started this. I just decided that I was going to build layers and I would figure it out along the way. And sure enough, the idea hit me. I've really been loving this tropical leaves look, and I came up with this idea. So here I am placing Oracal 631 removable vinyl to the cup. The design I bought on Etsy included both the full leaf and the outline. So I'm just alternating the leaves around the cup. There is a little bit of a curve on these cups after all the layers that can make vinyl placement a little tricky, but always try to go slow and push out from the middle if you can. I did measure my cup prior to cutting so that I was sure that the leaves would fit around without running into the handle. And here's a little hack, you guys. If your transfer tape is a little too sticky, you can just pat it on a piece of your clothing and take it off. Now, after I made sure that all my vinyl was down, no lifting edges, I'm actually going in with a coat of Brite tone. And even though I'm going to be removing this vinyl, I'm putting Brite tone on to help seal in the vinyl to prevent any of the paint that I'm going to apply from seeping underneath. Be sure to let this dry fully for 4 hours before you move on to painting. Okay, it's paint time, guys. Once your BT is dry, you can go in with Flippin' Awesome paint, and this color is totally teal. I'm going to be using a blush brush from the CrystaLac company to apply this because it makes great coverage. But realistically, any blush brush will do. Just be sure to apply with light pressure as you go around. At this point, I'm not too worried about streaking or coverage here. This is just a first coat. And I actually applied 3 coats in total, giving them 4 hours of dry time in between before I went on to remove my vinyl. Okay, now that you have all your coats on, it's time to remove that vinyl. And there are a lot of people that will tell you that you should pull the vinyl up right away or that you should wait. And in my experience, wait. This cup, I let it sit overnight, and the vinyl came off super easy with absolutely no paint pulling. There was only one little spot where the paint came up, and that was because I tried to pull it up prematurely after about an hour because I was impatient. But no worries. When that happens, all you got to do is just take a little small paintbrush, and I just went ahead and touched that up. I did that off camera, but when pulling up your vinyl, just give extra care not to scratch the paint that is still going to be on the cup. Otherwise, you're going to have to touch that up. Once you have removed all that vinyl, now you're ready for Brite tone layers. And right here, I am actually going to be using Glitter Heart Co.'s Magic Dust Epoxy Additive. Man, that is a mouthful. It is a super fine micro holographic glitter. It is so fine, guys. It is very similar to mica powder, so be careful because it just like poof goes everywhere. But it is amazing, and I ended up going over this twice with Magic Dust and BT to really get that sparkle. It almost gives the cup like a tacket look. It's like doing tacket without the tacket. I love it. And I absolutely loved the way it came out. Keep in mind that your Flippin' Awesome paint is it's a flat paint. It's not very slick. So when you're going over this, sometimes you gotta, work it a little bit. But it went on beautifully. And then I ended up doing about 2 or 3 extra coats of this, of Brite tone, just Brite tone, over this before I moved on, because I knew I needed to do sanding and I didn't want to risk potentially scratching any of that gorgeous holographic glitter. Guys, I'm so sorry that this is out of frame. But here I am, I'm sanding over my layers to make sure that everything is smooth. There are some tiny peaks and valleys, and that's because of the vinyl that I removed. And since I'm going to be adding permanent vinyl over this, I want to make sure that it's smooth and that everything is leveled out. Here I am, I'm going over very gently with a 400 grit sanding sponge from the CrystaLac company. Guys, these sanding sponges are literally the best. I recently bought them for the first time, and now I can't even imagine using a regular sanding block. But after this, after you're done sanding, you're satisfied with what you've done, give it a quick spritz with water and then wipe it down really well with a clean rag. And then you are free to go in with your Brite tone layers every 4 hours, sanding in between every 3 or 4 layers to make sure you get that smooth surface so you can go ahead and place your permanent vinyl. And here I am using this gorgeous textured gold vinyl from Cricut. And this stuff is so nice to look at, but it is not so nice to work with. Sorry, Cricut. It is really hard to weed. I did not even show you guys the absolute horror of me trying to weed this stuff. But as you can see, it is some pretty tricky stuff to work with. My transfer tape would not stick to this stuff. So if you're gonna use transfer tape to pull these up, I would definitely go with a stronger tacked transfer tape. I unfortunately did not have any, so I'm having to go in manually and pick them up and lightly put them on myself. Now I'm going in and I'm going to be sealing these little pieces of vinyl with CrystaLac glitter glue. This stuff dries completely clear, so you won't be able to see it. It takes 2 hours to dry, and once those are dry, you can then go in with your Brite tone layers. Hey guys, so I wanted to show you what this is, and forgive me if it's hard to see, but this is what we in the CrystaLac community call orange peel. It literally looks like the surface of an orange, or it looks like little teeny craters. Some people confuse that with bubbles, okay? But it's not bubbles, it's called orange peel. And it usually happens for one of two reasons. Either your coats are too thick, or you're adding layers before the previous layer has fully dried. Now, knowing me, it's probably due to the amount I use. I can be a little heavy-handed, but this is normal and you don't need to worry. This is nothing that a sanding can't fix. So I'm going ahead and I'm sanding most of the cup here. A lot of the orange peel that was showing up was in between the outline of the leaves. So in an effort to prevent me from sanding this thing to death and ruining the vinyl, I was just going lightly over them, and then I'm going to continue to build layers. If the orange peel appears after that, I can go in a bit more aggressively later, but I just didn't want to risk ruining the vinyl. The good news is that I didn't run into this problem afterwards. I had no more orange peel, and I actually put 7 more layers added to this with one sanding in between. And that last sanding, I just focused on the decals themselves, not the entire cup. Okay, now it's time to clean that rim. I'm taking a craft knife, and don't worry, that's not blood, it's Brite pigment. And I'm running it along the lip, applying pressure to the stainless steel part. Please be very careful right here. I have cut myself pretty bad using these X-Acto knives, so it's always best to go as slow as you can. You can also use a Dremel to clean the rim, and I will try to show that in another video. If you have any really stubborn stains that are in there from paint or Brite tone, one thing you can do is fill the cup up completely with hot water and let it sit. And usually those pieces will kind of you can just pick them right out. If you have even more stubborn stains after that, you can try to rub them down with some alcohol or acetone. And if that still doesn't work, one of the best ways to get paint or other things that are inside, using lemon oil and a magic eraser. Magic, seriously. And once it's all nice and cleaned up, I usually let it sit for a couple of days, anywhere from about 5 to 7. before I give it a good wash with actual soap, and then wrap it up and send it off to wherever it needs to go. And here she is. I love how this cup turned out. This cup that I had absolutely no idea what I was gonna do turned into this gorgeous thing. It is going off to a friend in Illinois, and I hope that she enjoys this baby just as much as I enjoyed making it. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them in the comment box below. If you like what you saw here, give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell as well to get notified every time I post a new video. Thanks again, guys. See you real soon.